My name is Ethan Caldwell, and for the last 8 years I've worn the star of sheriff in Willow Creek County. I'm 42, divorced once, no kids, and I like my life quiet. That's why I bought a small ranch-style house on the edge of Willow Ridge Estates. A gated community with manicured lawns, identical mailboxes, and a homeowners association that treats its bylaws like holy scripture. I figured the HOA would be a minor annoyance, the price of admission for peace and quiet. I was wrong. The trouble started 3 months after I moved in. The president of the HOA was a woman named Karen Whitlock, mid-50s, bleach blonde bob, always in pastel athleisure, and armed with a clipboard and the unshakable conviction that she alone stood between civilization and chaos. Everyone just called her HOA Karen, even her face. She didn't seem to mind. She probably thought it was a title of respect. Karen's favorite hobby was policing the neighborhood for violations. Grass 1/8 of an inch too tall? Citation. Holiday lights up 11 days past New Year's? Citation and a stern email. She drove a white Lexus SUV with an In God We Trust plate frame and a sticker that read, HOA board member, respect the rules. She also carried what she proudly called her master key. It was actually just a universal remote garage opener she bought online, plus a Slim Jim she kept in her glove box for emergencies. She bragged that it gave her authority over any vehicle or garage in the community if the owner was in violation. Most residents grumbled and paid the fines. I didn't. My truck, an older black Ford F-150 with county plates and a light bar on the roof, was registered to the sheriff's department. I parked it in my driveway because my garage was full of reloading equipment and a project motorcycle. Karen hated that truck. She hated that it had a small dent in the tailgate, that the tires sometimes left faint mud tracks on the cul-de-sac after rain, and most of all, that I ignored her handwritten notes tucked under the wiper. The notes escalated quickly. First, please park in garage to maintain neighborhood aesthetic. Second, commercial vehicles must be garage per section 14.2. Third, final warning, $150 daily fine begins tomorrow. I replied once, politely, with a photocopy of the county ordinance exempting law enforcement vehicles from such restrictions. I left it on her windshield. She never mentioned it again, but the glare she gave me every time our paths crossed could have melted steel. The real fireworks came on a Saturday in early October. I just come off a double shift, meth lab bust out in the county, and all I wanted was a cold beer and 12 hours of sleep. I pulled into my driveway around 8 p.m., still in uniform, badge gleaming under the porch light. I left the truck running while I ran inside to grab the mail. 30 seconds, tops. When I stepped back outside, Karen was standing next to my driver's door, Slim Jim in hand, trying to pop the lock. My truck was still running, headlights on, radio playing low. She didn't notice me at first. She was muttering to herself. This is an unauthorized commercial vehicle, blocking the aesthetic. I have every right. I clear my throat. Evening, Karen. She jumped, nearly dropping the Slim Jim. Her eyes went wide when she saw the uniform, the badge, the nameplate that read Sheriff E. Caldwell. Oh, Sheriff Caldwell. I was just, this vehicle has been cited multiple times, and I have a master key for community enforcement. That's a felony tool you're holding, I said calmly. And you're attempting to enter a law enforcement vehicle that's currently running. Her face flushed crimson. I'm the HOA president. I have authority. No, ma'am, you do not. I reached out and gently took the Slim Jim from her hand. She didn't resist. Step away from the truck. She took one step back, but the defiance flared again. This eyesore has been here for months. The board voted. I cut her off. Karen, go home. We'll talk about this tomorrow. She huffed, spun on her heel, and stormed across the street to her McMansion. I figured that was the end of it. I was wrong again. 2 hours later, just as I was dozing off, red and blue lights painted my bedroom ceiling. I pulled on jeans and a t-shirt and stepped outside to find 2 of my own deputies, Ramirez and Hayes, standing in my driveway next to their cruiser. Karen was on the sidewalk in yoga pants and a bedazzled boss lady sweatshirt, arms crossed, looking triumphant. Ramirez spotted me and looked embarrassed. Sheriff, we got a 911 call about a suspicious vehicle and possible trespasser at this address. I raised an eyebrow. That's my truck, deputy. And this is my house. Hayes was trying not to grin. Yes, sir. The caller said a man in uniform was lurking around an abandoned commercial vehicle and refused to identify himself when confronted by the HOA president. Karen piped up. I tried to open it with my master key, and he threatened me. He took my enforcement tool by force. I looked at my deputies. They looked at their boots. Karen, I said, did you tell the dispatcher that the suspicious man was the county sheriff? She faltered. I said there was a man in a fake uniform trying to intimidate me. Ramirez pulled out his body cam footage on his phone and played the 911 call for me. Sure enough, there's a man pretending to be law enforcement harassing residents. He stole my master key. Send officers immediately. I sighed. Gentlemen, I'm sorry you got dragged out here for this. Ms. Whitlock, making a false 911 report is a misdemeanor. So is attempted unauthorized entry of a vehicle. I'm going to let this slide tonight with a verbal warning, but if it happens again, I'll have to take official action. Karen's mouth opened and closed like a fish. You can't threaten me. I'm calling the county commissioner. I know people. You do that, I said. Good night, Karen. My deputies tipped their hats to me, gave Karen a long look, and left. I thought that would finally be the end of it. It wasn't. The next morning, my phone started blowing up. Someone had posted body cam audio on the neighborhood Facebook group titled Sheriff Abuses Power in Willow Ridge, full video. Except it wasn't full. It had been edited to start right when I took the Slim Jim, cutting out all context. Comments poured in. Typical government overreach. HOA Karen deserves respect. We pay his salary. By noon, the clip had 2,000 views. By evening, it was on the local news blog with the headline, Sheriff Caught on Camera Bullying HOA Hero. I could have let it die. I probably should have. But I was tired, and Karen had crossed one line too many. On Monday, I filed a public records request for every email, text, and meeting minute the HOA had sent regarding my address in the last year. Turns out Karen had been fining me $150 a day for 92 days. That's $13,800. She'd even started the lien process on my house without proper notification. Another violation of state law. I paid a visit to the HOA's attorney, a nervous little man named Greg who clearly wished he'd never taken their retainer. I laid out the false 911 call, the attempted vehicle entry, the improper fines, and the edited video. I suggested, gently, that the HOA might want to rescind all fines, issue a public apology, and remove Karen from the board to avoid a lawsuit and possible criminal referrals. Greg called an emergency board meeting that night. Karen showed up ready for war, armed with printed screenshots of supportive Facebook comments.